Just a few more moments.
Sure.
Okay.
All right, Neil, you may begin whenever you are ready.
All right. Welcome to the March 7th, 2023 meeting of the CV6 Environment and Parks Committee. My name is Neil Barkley and I am the chair of the committee. Tonight, we are joined by District Manager Jesus Perez. This meeting is called to order at 7:02 p.m. As a reminder, New York state law now requires all community board members to have their cameras on and their first and last names displayed from the time the meeting is called to order until the time the meeting is adjourned. If your camera is not on and your name not properly displayed, you cannot count towards quorum. And let's see, Marty Barrett will take the minutes tonight. So thank you, Marty.
Correct.
And everyone, you all should have received an email from the board office with a link to a doodle sign-up sheet for minute takers at your committee meetings in 2023. For your convenience, the link to the sign-up sheet is being posted in the chat right now. And we will now take attendance by roll call. Jesus will take the roll call.
All right. Let me post that link in the chat. Give me 1 second, and then I will take that roll call. The link is in the chat. All right. Good evening, members. I will call your name. You will unmute yourself and announce that you were present. I'll announce quorum if we have it at the end of that roll call. Neil Barkley.
Present.
Thank you. Martin Barrett.
Present.
Thank you. Claire Brennan. I know she was delayed a little bit. Is she here with us yet? Okay. I don't hear or see her. Paige Judge.
Present.
Okay.
Present.
Thank you. Anton Malner. Anton Malner. Okay, I don't see Anton. Raj Nayar.
Present.
Thank you. Reshma Patel.
Present.
Thank you. Anne Seligman.
Present.
Thank you. Letty Simon.
Present.
Thank you. Dean Stephanidis. Dean Stephanidis. Don't see him, so Mark Thompson.
Present. Present.
Thank you. Mara Wong.
Present.
Thank you. With 9 of 12 members present, we have quorum.
Okay, thank you, Jesus. The agenda for tonight's meeting was distributed ahead of time by the board office and appears on the screen before you. If there is no objection, we will adopt the agenda as stated. Members of the committee, if you object to adopting the agenda, you may raise your hand through Zoom. Seeing no objections, the agenda for tonight's meeting is adopted. The minutes from the February 7th meeting were distributed ahead of time. If there is no objection, we will adopt these minutes as drafted. Members of the committee, if you object to adopting these minutes, you may raise your hand through Zoom. So seeing no objections, okay, we just, so seeing no objections, the minutes from the February 7th meeting are adopted and will soon be available on the CV6 website. So just to set some ground rules, in order to conduct an efficient meeting, let's observe these ground rules. 1, no one may speak until granted the floor. 2, committee members, if you have a question about committee business or wish to make a motion, please raise your hand through Zoom. 3, the chat function should not be used for committee business or questions about agenda topics. All such remarks should be made on the record by raising your hand through Zoom. Chat should only be used to alert us to any technical difficulties you are having or to state in writing information like an email address that was already stated aloud on the record during the meeting. Number 4, when a committee member is given the floor to speak, I will identify you and you can unmute yourself so that you can speak. 5, committee members are required by the state open meetings law to have their Zoom cameras on and your first and last name displayed during tonight's entire meeting, from call to order to adjournment. If you must step away from your computer briefly, you are required to leave your camera on. So before we'll get to the agenda, I just wanted to say this will be a brief meeting tonight, hopefully around 30 minutes or so, just because I think tomorrow night there will be a full board meeting, likely maybe a longer one because of the casino resolution. All right. So starting off, everyone should have the agenda. Starting with the first part of the agenda, this one is about the Million More Trees campaign, the borough president's program that he has. Has everyone had a chance to look at the resolution that was distributed? Yeah, okay, heads nodding. So I've looked at it. I think it's a pretty standard language, meaning that I'm pretty sure that community boards all over the city will likely adopt very similar language. And so I looked at it. I don't see anything that necessarily needs to be changed. I think it's fine. The wording is fine as is. Does anyone have any comments or? Hi, Ann. Yes?
Yeah, I think it looks great. I think it's a good goal. I was kind of curious about 2 things. One is where, like, I was shocked that it said we have, I think it said 18%. That the urban forest canopy of Community District 6 is 18%. That number is shocking to me. And my guess is 90% of it is, Stuytown and the UN, which we shouldn't even count. So I was just kind of, that was something that really struck me as I was reading it. I do not disagree with the aims of it at all. However, there's references to sustainability, but there's not a mention, unless I missed it, for an emphasis on native plants, which most of you know, like, I just will always ring that bell. We should be having native trees. We should have bird-friendly plants. So I'd love to add something in one of the resolves about an emphasis on native plantings.
Neil, you are muted.
Marty, you can go ahead. Yes. And we'll take a look and think about where she thinks we should put that into the resolution.
I move to accept the amended resolution with and suggestion in the be it further resolved.
Okay,
Yeah, and I think it really can be as simple as a bullet that says, let me figure out if it can even go inside.
We should have a second. I made a motion. It should be seconded or not.
I'll second it.
Perfect.
It would be helpful if we got language.
yeah, that's what, Anne, do you have a language suggestion to add this?
I think it really can be as simple as, I don't care which resolved it's under, but it could be with an emphasis on increasing equity. Nope, not that one.
Would you like, Jesus, if she tells you what to write, can you just plug that in? Is that possible?
Is everybody okay with that?
That's
Yeah,
fine.
we're fine.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be as simple as, with an emphasis on native plantings. I just don't know quite where it fits.
Okay, Marty?
I made the motion to accept it and put it in there. And it was seconded, so we should just
Okay.
vote on it and,
Okay, so since I
And
did-
Jesus, if I just have it to you, like by tomorrow morning, like after the meeting, if I'm do that, is that okay?
yes,
Well-
or why don't we just tack it on right here at the end?
Yeah,
Uh,
yep.
Calls
yeah.
upon the city of New York to emphasize native plantings.
Great.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you, thank you,
And
Ann,
helping me
Marty.
from overthinking
Jesus.
this, which is always good.
All right, so this
Okay.
is the amendment, emphasize native plantings. Maybe we can just do a simple unanimous consent for this one.
Unanimous consent?
Are there any objections to adding this amendment proposed by Anne? There are, raise your Zoom hand. If there are not, everyone lower their Zoom hands perhaps. Mark Thompson.
Yeah, I just have one quick question. Don't we need to fill in that percentage in there above?
Yes, we'll get to that once.
Oh, okay, good. All right, cool. Thanks.
All right. Any objections to including emphasize native plantings as a bullet in this second resolved? There doesn't appear to be. All right, it is included. This draft is amended. And as Mark mentioned, this needs to be filled in. It came in blank, so the committee needs to decide what goal of canopy coverage it would like to see in Manhattan Community District 6.
100%? Could we put 100%? No?
That would mean, I guess, that when you look at our district from above, you will see nothing but green.
Sounds good.
I was going to say works for me.
Mark?
Isn't the goal down below 30%? Somewhere in there that,
Yeah, I believe.
That is the citywide goal.
yeah. So, I mean, I'd love 100% too, but then, yeah.
I can't imagine with the amount of very tall buildings that we have that cast such great shadows that we could have even 30%.
So we are at 18.2. Do you think?
Yes, for 25.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect.
Mara Wong requests the floor.
Hi, Mara. Yes.
Hi, yeah, no, I wanted to comment on that. Earlier in the resolution, it says that the urban forest canopy cover for New York City is 22%, and for Manhattan, it's 21.4%. So I would say for CD6, we should at minimum request the 22% that is the New York City percentage, and maybe say with the goal of 30% over time. But at least start with a minimum that matches the cities.
Reshma?
The American Forest, which is a nonprofit that looks at how much coverage you need, has recommended 40% for areas east of the Mississippi. So, I would recommend perhaps wanting to go up to 40%.
Anne?
I was gonna say 30% to go in line with the city goals, but I'm with Reshma. Let's go to 40, right? Like, if you don't ask for it, you're not gonna get it.
I guess we should also maybe be a little bit realistic as well, right? I think 40 is great. I guess like meeting in the middle, what would we say if we put 30%? Would that be a good number for everyone? Mark?
We could just use the same language down below and say at least 30% by 2035.
Okay,
That's good. That's good.
I like
Yeah,
that.
I mean, I'd love 50%, whatever, but I think if we just copy that.
Okay, that works.
Do we need to call the question?
All right, so now the clause, the bullet reads, adopts a goal of at least 30% canopy by 2035, equitably distributed for our community district. I would say throughout our community district. There are no objections to that.
No, I think that should be fine. And then we could do call to question. Anyone?
And
I'll
Seligman.
call the question.
And
I'll
Seligman.
second.
Okay,
Okay.
all right. So the question has been called and seconded. I will call the roll so that we can vote on this. All right. We are now voting on this resolution to support the Borough President's Million More Trees initiative as amended. Neil Barkley,
In favor?
thank you. Martin Barrett,
In favor?
thank you. Claire Brennan, has she joined us? Claire Brennan?
Oh.
Okay, I don't hear her. Paige Judge,
In favor.
all right, I think I heard in favor, was that correct? Paige?
In favor.
Okay, in favor. Anton Mulner, has he joined us? Anton Mulner? Okay, I don't hear him. Raj Nair,
In favor.
thank you. Reshma Patel
In favor?
and Seligman,
In favor.
thank you. Letty Simon,
In favor.
thank you. Dean Stephanidis, has he joined us? Dean Stephanidis? I don't hear him. Mark Thompson,
In favor.
thank you. Maura Wong,
In favor.
thank you. And with 9 out of 9 members present voting in favor, this moves on to full board passing unanimously.
All right, fantastic. Thank you, everyone. And Jesus, we can present this to the board next month.
Well, the resolution's already drafted.
We can do it tomorrow.
we can do it
Okay,
tomorrow,
that's fine.
unless you guys want to hold it over for next month, but
No, no, we could do it.
No.
No, we
Yeah,
can,
Yeah,
let's do it. Yeah, let's do it tomorrow, all right?
okay, it'll be in the reso packet tomorrow.
We'll get our first resolution passed together. So,
Yay.
all right, cool. We will now have our report from the Department of Parks and Recreation, and Sheena Kaufman is kind enough to join us this evening. How are you, Sheena? I think you may be on mute. No?
no, but we're not hearing you, Sheena.
Yeah, it shows her microphone.
Y'all can hear me now?
Now we got it.
Yes,
You can hear me now?
Yes, yes, we can.
You get, oh, okay. I don't know. These things are not working today.
Huh.
Okay, good evening, everyone. So I'm gonna give you a few updates about some of the parks around the districts.
can't hear you.
Oh, you're,
I think it was working with the headset. You had it working for a second.
And she can't hear us telling her no.
Sheena, you, oh,
If you have her cell, send her a text.
I'm gonna DM her right now.
Yeah,
Sheena, we can't hear you anymore.
Um,
Oh,
All right,
yeah.
there we go.
you can hear
We
me?
didn't- we didn't
Yes.
hear- yeah, we
Yes.
didn't hear any of what you
Okay.
said.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna start all over. For Vincent Albano, we're reviewing the bids for Albano Playground and hope that the contract will be rewarded. Work could start this spring if so. St. Martin's Park, the design for the St. Martin's Park Playground should be completed in April. The project should be out for bid during this summer. If we receive acceptable bid, construction could begin next year, early next year. DAG Hammersco Plaza. The project should be put out for bid shortly. After all of the legal problems we were having with this, it is going to be up for review. And that's for DAG Hammersco. Bellevue South, the work is still going strong, and we hope to be completed by May, this May. Tudor Grove is expected to be completed by May as well, and the project looks great so far. Murphy Brothers is still going strong and hope to be completed by fall of 2024. Augusta St. Gardens, we had the community output meeting last month, and now we're working on the design. We hope to present the design to the committee in June. As everyone probably is aware, New Wave Dog Run, properly operated vehicle that was stolen from New Jersey, damaged the dog run, the newly installed dog run. It damaged the dog run, taking out some benches, some fencing, and damaging the tool shed for the volunteers. Tomorrow we should be able to open back up a New Wave. We're putting the finishing touches on it tomorrow, and we're gonna add some water barriers as a temporary solution until we can find a more permanent solution at New Wave. If no one is aware of this, at Sutton Place Park, 56, 57th Street, a female was, I'm gonna say, accidentally killed. She died from, I'm gonna assume it's inhalation of some sort of chemical.
it
Wow.
wasn't,
How
Sheena,
far?
it wasn't in the park. It was in the cul-de-sac
I
at
know,
56.
I know, it was outside of that. Well,
Yeah,
she was in her
thank
car.
God. Yeah,
Yeah, she was in her car. They found her in the car, and about 3 other peoples were affected by this chemical that was out in the air somewhere. Asa Levy, we were getting a lot of dog complaints about Asa Levy, and that kids weren't able to play because of the dogs. our PEP enforcement, has been patrolling the area. And on the first, we issued 4 oath summonses to individuals with dogs off leash and dogs is in the playground preventing children from playing. And last but not least, I know Honey Locust is not in CB6, is in CB8, but it's very close to CB6. We're gonna soon have a ribbon cutting. I'll email Jesus the date that we're gonna have the ribbon cutting. And we would like for someone from CB6 to join us, if you don't mind. And that's it. That's all. If you have any questions, I'm here to take them.
I'll be there. All right. Any questions?
There appear to be 2 remarks in the Q&A.
All right, take a look
Board
here.
member Steve O.
So, all right, Steve O. All right, so I will go to the second one first about the barrier to help stop cars traveling through the dog run at New Wave Pier. Where that, at what we say, the emergency lane is, there are now, we'll say cones, DOT cones.
Yes,
And realistically, that's all that it should take. From time to time before this, sometimes we would have 2, sometimes we would have 3. It was really just a matter of placing them there. And so I think with those there, that probably should be enough. I've seen cars go down when the cones weren't there, but when you see the cones, they don't go up the lane. And so I think that should answer Stephen O's question. And going to the first one, I think this would be Kips Bay Alliance use NYC Park space at St. Martin's Park building to temporarily store tools from the damaged shed from the car crash at the dog run at New Wave Pier. Sheena, was the shed fixed, or that's not really something Parks is going to do? Because I saw there
the
was
shed-
damage.
the shed was severely damaged. It was unrepairable. It has to be, you know,
Thrown out.
thrown away. You couldn't repair it. I already spoke to Kevin O'Keefe, and I think Stevie O was with him. I told them they can put their tools in the garden area at St. Barton's until they are able to get another shed for for that particular area, for the New Wave Dog Run.
Okay, so that question should be answered. RuPaul's, can you clarify about the chemical in the air that killed 3 people? Sheena's already addressed that one.
I think that person is asking for additional details.
Oh, okay.
I'm
sorry.
I don't have additional details. That was something that wasn't privy to us. I got all my information off of Citizen app and actually TikTok, because they were the 2 areas that posted that I, it pinged my phone, and everybody was throwing out all types of stuff. But the news only gave a brief description on what was going on, and they didn't elaborate any further.
I can give you there was a full description in the Daily News, and I live right there up the block. Basically, it was a woman committed. They believe she committed suicide in a Jeep in the cul-de-sac on Sutton Place and 56th Street. When the police, when the body was discovered, and the police opened the door, the noxious fumes came out, and it was a few police officers that got sick. They said they will be okay. They're probably okay now. The hazmat people came down there. They had Geiger counters. They had gas masks. They said the air is okay, and basically that's where it is. There were a whole lot of vehicles and reporters down there, and everything is in terms of the environment, seems to be okay as far as we know. And they said that the fumes were basically confined to the car. That's where the fumes were. So if that clears it up a little bit, I'm glad to clear that up.
Okay.
Posted in
Let's
the
see.
news article that Letty referenced, and I've reposted it so that those
Oh,
folks,
good, thank you.
so that folks watching from home can also view it.
All right, we have another question from Elisa DeVito. And Sheena, she would like to know, she would like an update on when mulch will be put down at the east lawn at Stuyvesant Square, as well as lawn signs.
The lawn signs, they're on order. We have to wait for them to be fabricated in order for us to be able to put them up. And mulch, I didn't get a request for mulch. The gardener that's here, she didn't send a request for any mulch. So I'll speak with her tomorrow, and see if she ordered some. If she ordered some, then we'll check on it.
Okay, is there, I think that's all for Sheena's report. Okay, we can move on to the next item of the agenda, which is chair's report. So I'll try to do this quickly, I know, because to get us out of here. I had a chance to go and look at some of the parks. Stuyvesant Square, I had a look at the east side and the west side. On the east side, I met with Stuyvesant, the city park gardeners, and there are a few things that we can address there. One thing would be rat burrows, although I would like to add that I think Parks and Recreation, I think they've done a good job handling the number of burrows. At one time it was 320, and now I believe it is down to 41. A specific issue here that we are working on is working with schools at the old Stuyvesant High School that are housed in the old Stuyvesant High School building on 15th Street. We would like to close 15th Street during school days for a small 2 or 3 hours for the kids to play there during, or to spend recess in that place on 15th Street. One reason is because unfortunately at the east side of Stuyvesant Square, there are needles that are being found there, and that poses a risk to the students. So that's something that we are working on, and I will keep the committee up to date with that. The west side of the park, what I would say there is we are working to get litter bin baskets, and also to receive NYPD approval that NYPD cameras are needed. And once we have the approval, then we will outline the next steps to get the cameras. The same thing here, Parks and Recreation, I think they've done a good job with addressing the rat burrow issues. And but of course, it isn't 100% solved. And so the department will continue to address this issue by sending exterminators twice a month. I will go to Ralph Bunche Park, and just 1 second. So Ralph Bunche Park, we are working to obtain more trees. There's a hope that we may get some next month. Unfortunately, at Ralph Bunche, they also have some rats that the rats have decided to make that their home. The Parks Department is dedicated to addressing this, and they will be sending exterminators there twice a month. Finally, here, an irrigation system is needed. That's a long-term project, but in the interim, we are working with FDNY to access the fire hydrant once or twice a week so that we can water trees and flowers, and that is something I will keep the committee updated on. Dog Run, Sheena already gave us the update, which is good news. Augustus St. Gaudens Playground, we had the call, as Sheena mentioned. So we had that call, and parents, they were just expressing some of the things that they would like to see at the playground. The monkey bars, keeping them, that was a very important item. And I'm sorry, Sheena, what are they technically called? Monkey bars? I forgot. There's a. No, all right. There's a term now. Oh, we can't hear you, but nevertheless, there's a new term that
It's
they're
there.
using.
Oh, what happened? I lost you.
What is it called?
We can hear you.
It's a play apparatus. They're play
Okay.
apparatus.
So
Terrific.
the artist formerly known as the monkey bars were something that was very important to parents, and so we will see. One thing I will note here is that the basketball court, the surface, that it will not be resurfaced. That's the current position. It's not included in this project. However, I guess I spoke to a parent at Salk, and I would like to see if it's possible that it could be resurfaced. And so obviously that's a question about funds, and there's also a project on the side at PS 40, but we are going to explore this possibility a little bit more. And one, I think that is all. 1 second. Sorry, I lost the no. And that's it. I just want to thank Sheena and Steve for all of their help, Steve Simon. Finally, the environment part, climate plan. We can have a more substantive discussion about this next month. And then for old new business, I have nothing. Yeah, Anne?
I actually have two things. One is, I think I'm gonna be working on the climate plan. And I think, Neil, you had proposed some other folks, and we're looking for even more folks. So if there's anybody wants to reach out to me and we can work on this together and figure out where we're going, that would be great. And Jesus, if you can, Jesus and Neil, anything you can do to kind of make that easier, sort of facilitate that.
So so just quickly on that one, do we have great news, strong participation from the committee. Mark Thompson will be addressing trees, maintenance of trees, I believe. Mara is also going to help out with sustainable building. And we also have Claire Brennan, who is going to help out with the transportation part, the focus on, I believe, more access with bikes. And so we can put everyone in
Great.
contact with you. And then you could ultimately add that to the draft.
That's great. Thank you very much for that, Neil. I'm sorry, I've been very much away, so I know. The other thing, one of the things I heard of when I was away, that I think of myself as pretty plugged in on sort of sustainability things. But somebody told me about eco bricks, and I was just kind of curious if anybody here was familiar with them. And basically the concept is that the concept is to keep bottles out of the ocean. And the way you do that is you stuff plastic bottles in with other amounts of plastic to a very specific density, and then you build structures from them. And it's like a crazy idea. And it's sort of like, no, what we really need to do is get rid of the bottles. But it's just, this is a kind of worldwide thing. And I thought it might be sort of a fun thing to do. I am sure the schools in our district go through enormous numbers of plastic bottles. And it might be interesting if they wanted to create bricks and then build, like places where kids are building, gardens or play apparatus, which I think that's what they're called, Sheena, right? So anyway, this was like a new idea to me. I didn't know if it was a new idea to everybody. I put a link to the organization in the chat. So
I think that's very interesting. We know the issues with plastic, especially in the ocean, in the water, and I believe all of us are. If you're eating seafood, we're ingesting a certain amount of plastic. We don't know if it's harmful or not, or what the percentage is. I think this is interesting, and so if you'd like, you can also send an email over to the committee, and then we can look at this some more.
cool. And again, if anybody knows anything about this, let me know.
Yes.
So Jesus, Jesus, maybe if you can even just send that link to the committee members.
He put it. Okay, I see it. You put it in the chat, Ian. Okay, thanks. Right, and I
So you
think
want me
that
to you want me to send that eco break link to the committee?
Yeah, so people can, they'll know what I'm talking about and they can look it up and we can talk about it next month.
okay. So that, with that being said, old new business, I have nothing. And that's it. And I believe we would just need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
So moved.